Hello everyone, how are you going? And welcome to something that I think is going to completely blow my mind because it is such an abstract concept to me, and that is how we drive a car at minus 50 degrees Celsius. I mean, looking at that, there's a bit of snow there. I also know that the less snow, the colder it gets. And so really, how does anything survive at minus 50?
Driving a car in the coldest inhabited place on Earth is a daunting task. With temperatures dropping as low as minus 70 degrees Celsius, unprotected car freezes within minutes.
What?
Today, at minus 50 degrees Celsius, the car that was parked outside is frozen solid, which is a common thing in Yakutia. To unfreeze a car in such low temperatures, Anatoly and Konstantin use special techniques.
Is that a diesel jet? Oh my goodness. What is that? 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours to unfreeze the engine. I mean, obviously, there's a lot going on there and there's a lot of temperature that they have to just battle, but 2 hours to unfreeze the engine, where usually if a car is just turned on, it might heat up in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, definitely 10 minutes, 20 minutes, within reason. And look, it absolutely caught me off guard when I first saw it, but it also definitely makes sense to try and use the snow as an actual insulating layer, basically just construct an igloo around the car's own shell and structure just to be able to not freeze it, even though you're using something that's already frozen. I mean, I guess in saying that, I am definitely wondering and just bewildered by the fact that the cameras are able to operate. I mean, cameras keep themselves warm, but not at minus 50, all the way up to minus 70. Like, I don't even know. And this is probably some of the fact that the sun is even up. Like, all of these different factors are just insane, to the point where you would probably not want to be driving as much as possible, because to be heating the engine for 2 hours, going through the rest of it, taking 3 hours, and then on the way back as well, this is going to be half your day gone just in trying to start the car. Look at the water dripping off it from the jet fire.
To avoid the car freezing outside, locals must insulate their cars and keep them in a heated garage for the winter. However, keeping a garage warm in such extreme cold is not an easy task, so many locals mothball their cars, taking the battery out and leaving the car outside, to let it freeze and waiting until spring to unfreeze the car and use them again when the weather is warmer.
Mothball. Interesting. Wow, look at that. I just want to look at this again, because usually whenever someone opens the bonnet like that, they're going, oh no, what has happened? Why is it steaming? Why is the radiator or the whatever it may be just broken? But in this case, they're going, oh yeah, sweet, with steam, that is exactly what we want. And look at that, there's the entire thing, that massive engine block, which has been frozen for months. If it's just been mothballed, it's just slowly trying to just fight the cold. In saying that though, I'm still confused as to why you would not want to leave it in some form of a building, even if you just dig a massive igloo or a hole or something like that, just to try and keep it a little bit more insulated, because surely the freezing down to 50, 70, whatever the car is actually getting down to, is just not good for the components in general. Even if you take the battery out and whatever you can, I just can't imagine that the entire car survives as long like that. I mean, I guess on the other hand, perhaps it just goes into a bit of a cryogenic stasis where it just doesn't age whatsoever, and especially if it just is not getting driven for months on end, it probably just lasts forever. That might be a 50-year-old car that looks brand new. But hang on a second, I've also just noticed that there is a motorbike right there. What is that thing doing outside? Surely, with everything going on here, just a couple of things can just afford to go inside so they don't just sit there and freeze. Like, I just cannot imagine any of this stuff just surviving. I mean, even the power infrastructure, it's all so impressive, this kind of engineering.
Oh, wow.
The oil is, of course. Look at it. It's so
Once
viscous.
they have confirmed that the oil is liquid, they put the battery back in and turn the key to start the engine.
Wow. First try is what that sound like.
Due to the extreme cold, there is a large amount of water vapor coming from the exhaust. This is because the cold air causes the moisture in the air to condense, forming droplets of water that may be visible coming out of the exhaust pipe.
Wow. It's just ridiculous.
Another way to avoid the car freezing during the winter in Yakutia is by turning the engine on all the time. From October until April, some people park their car with the engine running. However, this leads to high fuel consumption and if a car is parked for a long time in the cold, its wheels become deformed.
Okay, there was so much to unpack there then. How do people possibly afford to be doing that, leaving their car running 24/7 for multiple months? I mean, I guess that just goes against everything I was saying in terms of just not aging, because those engines, even though they're not moving, they are seriously going about getting their hours up very, very quickly. My goodness, I cannot believe that. Let alone the fact that if you leave the car in the cold for too long, the wheels deform. I mean, they kind of showed a tire, and so I'm wondering, is it the tire or the wheel? Because for the wheel to deform, that's just... I cannot imagine the wheel deforming. I mean, it's metal. The entire car would deform then. I mean, to be honest, if nothing else, this is the perfect freeze frame just to admire what this car is. I mean, I don't believe I've ever seen it before, but honestly, it looks like some kind of military vehicle. Just those tiny little doors, just everything is so compact, just trying to hold itself together, or almost crushing itself together when it just condenses. So that really just does bring me back to the fact that why would you not be storing these vehicles in some kind of a roofed enclosed structure? You don't have to heat it, because I understand that's going to be costing money that not everyone's going to have, but just to get it out of the raw elements surely is going to be better, and even allow you to heat it up a bit quicker, or maybe even keep it warmer over the months. I mean, if nothing else, surely then you don't have to keep the engine running the entire time. Like, there are so many factors, especially because of fuel costs. Like, you could probably build a building just for this fuel cost of 1 or a couple months. Oh god, there are just so many different things, and I'm just bewildered by how anyone possibly lives there. It was in this compressing, so it must just be the rubber. I can understand the rubber deforming at these kind of temperatures. Wow.
This is a UAC vehicle which was designed back in the Soviet era, the most popular car in the rural areas in Yakutia.
Wow. And for good reason, I'm sure.
While it may not have that many features, not getting stuck on the highway when it's minus 50 degrees outside is far more important than having parking sensors and comfortable seats.
Yeah. How? Oh. What? It's just outrageous. Look, what do you possibly see?
If your car gets stuck on the road, it can be very dangerous in Yakutia, where traveling from one town to another can take several days across its vast 3 million square kilometers area.
This just gets more and more insane. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. You're just traveling and traveling and traveling, and if you break down, you're dead. That's basically what it becomes to you. Like, okay, well, the car's going to freeze and then I'm going to freeze and that'll be it. Like, what else are you possibly going to be doing in those kind of situations? I mean, no wonder people just leave their cars running. They have no other option. And thinking about it, I'm definitely wondering what kind of engine temperatures these cars are even getting to when they're just cruising along, even if you're just leaving them idle for months on end. Like they said, October to April, that is so much fuel. But either way, what kind of temperature is that engine maintaining? Because engines get warm and they can keep themselves warm, but can they keep themselves warm against that? I really don't know. Like, is that just idling at minus 10 degrees instead of a positive 100? I really don't know how it is possibly running. I mean, I guess it is just a very specialized vehicle, and that is why, like you said, basically everyone just has to use them. But look, seeing something like this certainly helps to put the entire thing into perspective for me, because I have had the odd morning where I struggle to just defrost the window, and that is probably because I have to wait for the car to warm up. Just go, come on, just warm up a bit faster. But that is what I'm wondering. Does the engine ever even warm up, and how do you defrost the windows? Because like we said, like we saw, how do you possibly do that if it is just fighting minus 50 with only, what, 4 mil, 5 mil, 3 mil glass? Oh, actually, I think I just saw some of the gauges in the car. Oh, there they were. Where's a nice clean frame? Oh, look at that. We got fuel, engine temp, oil temp, and then battery. So the... Jeez. Oh, wait. KFC per centimeter squared? I have no idea what that is. Actually, that looks more like a KI degrees Celsius per centimeter squared. What is that possibly measuring? Because if it's per centimeter squared, is it just telling the viscosity of the oil? But surely the temperature can tell you that. Either way, the engine is sitting at about 80 degrees, and so I guess that answers that question. Sadly, everything that I search just comes back with the Celsius part, and so unless I guess I just add to per centimeter cubed, but no, per centimeter squared, what is possibly going to come out? Viscosity of water. So is it... I have no idea why that is even a gauge, but I'm sure that there is a use for it.
If your car gets stuck on the road, it can be very dangerous in Yakutia, where traveling from one town to another can take several days across its vast 3 million square kilometers area. Sadly, there have been some instances where locals have frozen to death in their cars due to engine failure. To prevent such tragedies, it's crucial to have a backup vehicle on hand in case of an emergency and to ensure regular car maintenance with proper insulation.
Wait, car maintenance with insulation? I don't believe I've ever heard that sentence being said, but it absolutely makes sense that you were just going to be insulating your vehicle just so you don't, well, I guess just maintain that minus 70 degrees inside the car as well. However, just adding to the ever-expanding list of things that are just blowing my mind, what does it possibly mean for you to be having a backup vehicle in case your original one breaks down? And also, what happens if the backup breaks down? How do you even contact them? Because generally speaking, phones don't really work in temperatures that low. I mean, they have an operating range and it certainly isn't that low. Where are you operating temperature? Here we go. Operating ambient temperature 0 to 35 degrees Celsius. And then even the non-operating temperature is minus 20 to 45. Now, the upper end doesn't concern us here, but the minus 20, these people are living in more than double that, if not triple that, almost quadruple that in the negative scale. It's like driving a tank. Just a little peephole.
That's why Konstantin and Anatoly are now returning to the garage to reinforce the insulation in their car.
Look at that. Crazy. It looks shattered.
The temperature outside is so cold that the hot water immediately freezes outside.
Yeah. Oh. It's pretty beautiful. Yeah, it's like a firework.
To protect the car from freezing, Konstantin and Anatoly covered the grill with some special leather material and also the bottom of the car with tarpaulin.
Okay, fair enough. Wow, actually fully tying it up. Whoa.
Additionally, they used felt to protect the engine, allowing it to warm up more quickly and retain heat for longer in the cold.
Yeah, look at that. The fact that you're putting felt next to an engine, like most people will be going, what are you possibly going to be doing? That felt is just going to catch on fire and you're going to have your entire engine burned out. But these guys going, no, we need to be trying to warm up the entire thing. We need to tuck it into bed and even just on all sides, like wire tie it to the frame of the car. I mean, seeing them do this then does raise the question once again about why would you not be doing this in the cold months, just driving into a garage, just keep it nice and warm with all the blankets or as warm as you can. You can still take the battery out, do all of the same things, but just keep the car a little bit warmer. Like I said, just tuck it into bed for the winter months from, what is it, October till April. Oh, no way. I mean, I do feel as though it is about time that I just look at where this exactly is. This city, or is it okay, so it's an entire region. Whoa, okay. Of course that's going to be cold, especially if you're up there, but if we just go into satellite, we can just see how north this truly is. And even though that's a lot of green, there's no way that if we zoomed all the way in, this is just going to be green everywhere. Surely, where is it? I mean, I guess they just took it in the summer. Case in point right there, look at that, just the straight down the middle split. Google never stood a chance when it came to winter. You're going to see the, oh my goodness, what is this? It just keeps going, it just keeps changing. Look at that. I have no idea what that would be. Is that clouds maybe that I'm seeing instead? And then you've got that, and then you've got this, and then it even just kind of continues again, just goes into a different blurry one. So look, I'm not exactly sure if this part of the world environmentally experiences 4 seasons, but honestly, if it does, we are certainly looking at them right there.
They also put on another layer of windshield to keep it warm and stop it from fogging up.
Another layer? Fair enough. How? Tape. Gotta love tape.
For the side windows, they cut out an extra protective layer of plastic film to cover the side windows.
Wow. Oh. How does that work? There's so much effort goes into living here.
Bunda bakalım fiyat kilon kolan mahara kaya wata ulo ta harapna.
That's good.
Zo digna ra masina.
Wow. clear windscreen. Jeez. It's good though for you. Wow. Just that change in thickness is such a massive difference.
Konstantin spent about $70 on all materials and tools necessary to insulate his car.
That's
With
pretty
his
damn
friends'
cheap.
support and help, now they can confidently hit the roads during the winter months in Yakutia. How about you? How do you prepare for winter driving in your town? Please share your tips and tricks in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
Oh, honestly, that was just insanity. I cannot believe, like I said, that people, for one, just live there, let alone to just have to go through all of these extra steps that most people in, I want to call them normal climates, just don't even have to consider whatsoever. I mean, the fact that they're just double insulating their windows and just going through that entire process, as well as just putting a jet fire under their car, like so many things that people go, why would you be possibly wanting to do that, or that seems dangerous, or whatever it may be. It's just a way of life, of which, if I haven't already said it enough in this video, I'm just always blown away by the fact that people can live in these conditions and just choose to live in these conditions. You know, just if you came a little bit more south, you wouldn't have to deal with it's just extensive just lifestyle change. But hey, if you just love where you live, you love where you live, and you're just willing to just go through all these extra steps just to have home. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I am just finally going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you are watching, then make sure to go check out my other ones. Also, make sure to go check out this very educational and very eye-opening video down in the description below. Or hey, maybe you even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.